Today, I'm going to both show you how I compost and tell you why I compost on my small suburban homestead. I've always been intrigued by the idea of composting, taking something that we generate every day that we can't help but generate and turning it into something useful and something that I buy at least once a year for my gardens. When we bought our first house, almost a decade ago, I went out and I bought the biggest, cheapest storage bins I could and drilled holes in them and added all my composting material. And I'd pick it up and I'd shake it manually, which worked great. But I realized that for it to be truly useful, I had to have two. And that just became a lot of heavy lifting, and it became a very large volume because I had filled up an entire like 50-gallon tote or something crazy like that. And so when we moved up here, I knew that I needed a system like that because it was too upsetting to throw this food, food waste or food scraps like vegetables, and felt too depressing to throw it away, especially when I had been composting it. So I knew I needed a two unit system, and so I'd really love to show you how I compost and what my compost looks like. And in the next video, I'll show you how I'm using that compost. This here was a tomato that I picked while it was blushing, but apparently it had a defect in it, and that's me smelling it and considering if any of it is salvageable, and the answer was no. So a few minutes later, I cut into a zucchini that I had harvested the day before. And I'm still not sure what caused this, but it was totally rotted. So this is me taking these vegetable scraps out to my compost bin. So this is my active bin that I add to almost daily. This is the bin that I added all of my compost scraps, paper, vegetable scraps, coffee grounds, etc. to earlier this spring and summer. And so you kind of get an idea of how the compost works, where I have one bin that I am adding to consistently, and I have another bin that I can actually use for gardening. So this is kind of a wider angle view of how I'm using the composter, and you can see I'm getting some compost out for the next video where I'm going to show you what I'm planting in August in Zone 5B. So make sure you look out for that.